Hey there everyone, this is raocow, and I'm currently apparently not playing a video game. How unthinkable. Yeah, I am just... Well, okay, basically, as y'all know, I've just ended the contest of a video game of some kind. It's pretty weird, but, I don't... Basically, now I'm at a point where I'd start a new project. The thing is, whenever I'm starting a project is when I should be at my most peppish, which I'm obviously not quite there. At first I thought it'd be a good time to, bring back out our old mistakes, our old friend Voxatron, or also I thought maybe it'd be a good time to, play some of Turna's homemade Copy Kitty levels. The thing is, both of those projects requires me to be kind of loud in some moments, and when I speak of Copy Kitty, I mean for about 90% of the video, which obviously my voice cannot handle right now. So instead, look at me do some little surfaces on the new tablet I got myself for Christmas instead. I didn't get it myself on Christmas Day, though. Dang it, I keep I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger than the surface area of where I'm painting at, because this is just not working out. There we go. Because, words are very useful in modern society. Also, words are very useful in society. So yeah, as some of you may have gathered, I spent my 25th of September glued to the bed. It was pretty great. Basically, I woke up in the morning to try, upload a video, and just getting up to go to the washroom, left me literally out of breath. That's usually a good sign. And, yeah, after doing that, I kind of spend the rest of the day in bed, only getting up to eat, or attempt to eat, and watch the Giant Bombs recap of that day. You can see where my priorities are at. Yes. And also... perhaps. But yeah, so, next project, I'm seriously considering doing Tower of Bias 2, the first one, we did the sequel first now, and although it might seem a little early for some, my reason for that is that, doing the second one only took roughly 16 videos, while, usually I consider a project's normal length to be roughly a month. So about, 30 videos. So, we did about half. That's why I'd be interested in doing it right now. Although some people might disagree. That's why I'm kind of putting it out there if people want me to do a thing beforehand. I'm just layering some green here. It's a pretty varied image painting. Also, as I've mentioned at the end of the last video, I basically, a forum member, a Talkhouse member, a recent Talkhouse member, retranslated VIP 1 directly in the game with, translating all the text boxes, but also offering more accurate level translation names, which I'm kind of about, because I kind of like how janky some were, but whatever. I mostly would be interested because, as I've said before, I'm a huge fan of the VIPs, and I've been a huge proponent for a while now of save stateless video gaming. And it always bothered me that my display of the early VIPs, is with ample save state abuse. And because of that, I think I'd like to play them. Now, the part of the reason why I'm kind of hesitating is because that'd be the third time I'd be playing those games. Well, at the very least, VIP 1. She's working currently on VIP 2. maybe some people would think that would be overkilling it, but also Us made a good point by saying that would be kind of hilarious. That's also something I'm putting out there as a possibility, I guess. You know, it's the possibilityness of the world. So that's basically things I felt was important to say here. Although there's also a story I want to convey. It's not so much a story, but a fever dream I had on the night between the 24th and the 25th. I think it's the first time I recall experiencing a real, genuine fever dream. And it's pretty weird. It's not something I suggest because it's kind of scary. But it struck me enough that I kind of remember the gist of it fairly well now. I don't remember it perfectly, of course, and I can't recreate the mental state I was at, but in terms of imagery, I thought it was fascinating because it was just complete darkness. Like, the darkness when you close your eyes, but darker than that. It was like, the purest pitches black ever. Like, if you're like in a closed room with no windows and no doors and no other lights, and you close your eyes, it was darker still. And, in a way, because of my mental state, I was accepting of that. And, in a way, I just kind of knew that this was the time where I would get erased from existence. And although I was, in a sense, accepting of that, at the same time, my survival instincts kicked in. So I was like, no, Cow, you can't let this thing erase your thoughts. You need to keep your ability to think. So I spent most of the night, and I'm assuming I didn't sleep all that much, but fever dreams are kind of funny, because they're kind of in between both sleeping and awake. But from what I recall, I spent most of that night kind of trying to redraw the web of how I think, the web of how my thoughts are organized. And the more I made mental association between things, it started to draw dots and lines, sort of like a computer circuit, in the darkness itself. And so, once I quote-unquote got up, although it must have been around 6 in the morning, for the first time on the 25th. Remember, I still wasn't exactly piping hot with health. I was piping hot with other things. I was, let's say, reasonably convinced that the web I had sewn would let my thoughts exist for yet another, at least another day. But I was kind of exhausted, and all I could think of was, geez, I'm going to have now, from now on, I'm going to have to do this every single night. Otherwise, I'm just going to disappear, and this is really exhausting. Like, I'm never going to feel rested ever again. And I was genuinely distressed about this. That was not a pleasant thought. You kind of take for granted how sometimes, how at ease we can be until something like this. Again, I was convinced that this was going to happen, and I did not like that one bit. I uploaded the video. My video for the day a bit later that day. It was a video played on the 25th. It wasn't a great video, but no, actually it was the lava level video for the facade contest. Yes, for Tower of Bias too. So no, it was an okay video. It was a great level, so it was a pretty okay level, and also it was a wonderful level. It has many adjectives. not quite contradictory, but at different scales each. It's pretty great. And also, I am not a video game, unlike what you might have heard of in the internet. No, I am, in fact, a video game. Please don't get those facts mixed up. That would be a bad thing to do, because if you get mixed up on the basic things, then people will not take you seriously when you go to the mall and ask for plum sugar. Because I don't know if you can actually buy those, or if you just kind of have to summon them, like, minotaurs and radish patches. Pretty, I don't know, it's kind of funny, I find, in a way, that a guy somewhere out there went, well, I'm gonna make a living, I'm gonna just make a whole bunch of radishes, and this will give me a sustainable wage. However, even though, as a farmer, I am pretty much the crux of civilization here, and what I enable for everyone else to exist at their comfortable leisure time land style, I'm still gonna get absolutely zero respect from the rest of society, because society makes a lot of sense. It really does, when it feels like it. It's too bad that most of the time, by which I mean the vast majority of the time, it just does not feel like it. And you have to ask yourself why. But you can't ask yourself too hard, because otherwise you're just going to be depressed. That's not a state you want to be in. Always stay pressed, kids, because otherwise people will not like to wear you when they have to go to somewhere important, such as the bank or inside a motor vehicle. Oh man, back in the days when people dressed up to go drive a car. I'm pretty sure that time never actually existed, but I'm pretty sure saying those exact sentences in the right circumstance / context would make some people nostalgic for a thing they have never actually appreciated when they were kids. Because deep down in all generations, kids were always fairly the same. We're just kinda dumb about it, and decide to only remember the good parts, while kind of ignoring the rest, which in a sense, I can understand why that would happen. It just kinda gets into being a problem if you just kinda fixate on that and nothing else. This is raocow. I have no idea what I'm doing, or what I am, or what is me. But join me next time regardless, where a thing may or may not happen, maybe. The end.